One of the statues is broken. Let's take a closer look.
Oh.
Look, there's a bullet here.
I also see something sparkling on the bottom there.
It's from the pistol the victim was carrying. My guess is he tried to shoot his attacker, but missed, and the bullet ended up here.
How did we not hear a gunfire?
We've already determined the rifling marks to be a match to his gun. Rifling marks, aren't those... Rifling marks, aren't those?
Took you a moment, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
It took you seeing me not moving and smiling, didn't it?
I was on autopilot for a bit there. Don't mind me. Oh, shall I explain? The science behind it is absolutely fascinating. No, we're good. Lawyers. Think they're so smart. You do realize we can hear you. There's something shiny down there. It's a pendant.
A bloody pendant.
There's blood on it. I wonder who it belongs to. All we know is it's not the victim's. No one in the royal family recognized it. Emma, did you find any fingerprints from it? I did, but I wasn't able to get a clean one. That's too bad. But the blood turned out to be the victim's. That means it must have fallen here in the course of the murder. It might be Dirk's. I should ask him about it later. This thing's more splintered than statue now. The bullet for the victim's gun did a real number on it. Seems like something you get cursed for, you know? In Minister Inga's case, I'd say getting your ticket punched is curse enough. Yeah, but don't curses extend to the afterlife? You need to stop taking what Nayuta says so seriously. I'm perfectly capable of thinking for myself. It's a Magatama, I think. Did it come from the broken statue? Look, Apollo, there's another one. But the other statues only have one each. Hey, you're right. Maybe the statue was special or something.
I don't think so.
It's like a small army of monks, all neatly lined up. Looks like they're facing the sarcophagus in prayer. If you look carefully, each one has a slightly different expression. Well, we'll have to go investigate it. I wonder if they used real people as models. Some are frowning, some are smiling. There's one that looks like he's trying his hardest not to burst out laughing. Really? I wonder why. Maybe it's like those times that the things are so intense, you can't help but laugh. You know, like at funerals and stuff. They went through all the trouble of depicting that. Talk about going overboard. Is this supposed to be Amara channeling a spirit? Looks like the spirit of some country's sultan or something. And she seems to be conveying something to his retainers. She's on fire! Who do you think that is?
Who do you think that is? That's Dirk.
Yeah, it totally is Dirk, actually. This must be Amara's assassination as allegedly carried out by Dirk. They really made him look evil. This is the weirdest one of them all. It's supposed to be Dirk facing his punishment in the afterlife? Anyway, I guess that's the last one. I guess we're supposed to see this as a happy ending. Yeah, except nobody came out of this story happy. The sarcophagus is surrounded by a curtain. I bet someone could have hidden behind it. True, but that's one of the many places the royal guards checked after storming in. Wow, they were really thorough. Yes, well, apparently one of their members loves mystery novels. He peered into every nook and cranny with an almost frightening amount of gusto. And when he was done, he said, "Very interesting. It's like one of those locker room mysteries."
Okay, that guy is highly suspect.
Sounds like he's in the wrong line of work. This is the grape juice Inga was drinking. He's probably nervous before meeting with Dirk. So he drank grape juice. Now, I'm not seeing the logic here. Mr. Wright told me all about it when he was hospitalized a few years ago. He said grape juice has something in it that helps you relax. Really? Are you sure he was talking about regular, plain old grape juice? Because it sounds like he was talking about the fermented variety. No, I couldn't have meant that. I mean, we're talking about a medical facility. They wouldn't have allowed something like that in. Right, let's just leave it at that. Really? We can't go investigate it? There's a painting up there, but I can't see it very well from here.
Wrong way.
A baby on a lotus blossom. That's one strange painting.
This is probably her birth.
Apparently, this part of mural depicting the life and times of Queen Amara. You know, like a storyboard or something. So that baby's supposed to be Amara. This one depicts Amara preaching to the faithful. It's hard to put into words, but I've never seen anything like it. Let's see. Wait. Was she Justice Minister too? With the cuffs as well? Is that Dirk? Why does he have horns? My best guess is it depicts the first time Amara and Dirk met. So it's supposed to be some kind of demon who's seducing her. Well, he was successful since they got married after that. The mural continues on the opposite wall, which we read. Check out the chair, might as well. Miss Faye was apparently tied to this chair. Let's take a closer look. We should try to cover every angle possible here. Da-da-da-da-da. Careful looking around.
Well, I already see some red down there.
I bet you didn't know, but I happen to be a bit of an escape artist myself. She showed me how to do her rope escape trick. Uh-huh. And why would you bother learning something like that? Because we're always getting into trouble when working case with Mr. Wright. So I thought it might come in handy someday. Well, I guess you're right about that. Miss Faye could have definitely used that knowledge. That's right. So now you just sit right here and we'll get started. What in the world gave you the idea I wanted to learn? There's gonna be something at the back of the chair, watch.
It's not letting me turn very well.
Oh, blood on the bottom, right. Look, there's a blood stain on the chair legs. Look, I read the line wrong. Look, there's a blood stain on one of the chair legs. Really? Hey, you're right. I completely missed that. How did you miss that? Let's move the chair so we can check under it. There's more blood under the chair leg.
That's weird.
I wonder what it's doing there. I have some luminol here. Why don't you do some testing around it?
How big is this pool gonna be? Let's play Find the One Spot the game once. There it is. What the
Look.
heck is that blood stain?
Is it going to the tomb? Is it going to the tomb? Is it going to the tomb? Of course it is. The bloodstain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. Emma, is this Minister Ingrid's blood? Hold on 1 second. You can't get a test that fast. Huh? That's strange. I didn't get a match.
She probably has like data on the DNA in the blood, and she just has to real quick check if it's the same as like
Did she
we don't know
not
what
get-
equipment she has on her.
Yeah. So then, whose blood is it? Dirk and Miss Fay weren't wounded as far as we know. And the blood's been wiped out by someone for some reason. Yeah, that's strange too. Poor Miss Fay. She must have been tied up to this chair. I could just imagine how much her backside must have hurt after sitting there for so long. It would have been torture for you, I bet. I mean, you don't know how to sit still. If by that you mean like I like to stay active, then I have to agree with you.
I hate it when the angle is so finicky.
There's a bloodstain on the floor. It's already been mostly wiped up, but the stain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. I wonder whose blood it is. Someone could have hid behind these curtains. Here, I'll go give it a try. Well, can you tell I'm hiding here? No, I can't tell at all. That's it. That's the perfect hiding place. We did it, Apollo. We solved the case. No, you did not. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the Royal Guard searched the tomb high and low after they stormed in. And they said no one else was in here beside Minister Inga, Dirk, and Miss Fay. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. My brilliant deduction, destroyed in 3 sentences. I think we covered just about everything. Maybe we should go over what we learned so far. Huh. For starters, we're dealing with a locked room murder. But instead of the tomb being locked, it was being cordoned off by the Royal Guard. And after the murder, no one was found to be hiding inside. Right, in addition, we also know that Dirk's fingerprints are all over the murder weapon. The curtain around the sarcophagus was drenched in the victim's blood on one side. The blood must have also gotten on the killer when they stabbed the minister from behind. Dirk had blood on him when the crime was first discovered. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember what happened.
What if that blood isn't Inga's? Has that
I
been...
think the blood on him is him catching Inga.
Hmm.
This is not good. So all we know so far is things couldn't be worse for our case. And that's still an understatement somehow. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Oh, if you two are done here, I'll have to ask you to leave. Go on, scoot.
Nagita's probably on his way.
Something wrong, Emma? What are you trying to give us a boot? It's just easy if you're not here when his ephemeral holiness arrives. Ah!
Uh-oh, here he is.
Speak of the devil. Prosecutor said naughty.
Detective Sky, it seems you've spoken at length with these two lawyers. I do hope you've also kept a keen eye on them.
Yes, of course, like a hawk. I didn't touch a single thing.
Yeah, totally didn't touch a thing. Totally didn't take that gemstone that was in the ash away. No. Give a lawyer an inch, and they'll take a mile. Never forget that.
There's that look of distrust again. Hey, Nayuta. Do you really believe that Dirk's guilty? And are you seriously going to prosecute this case? I mean, he's your father. You were once part of the Defiant Dragons, weren't you? Hey, Nayuta, wait! I said wait! Go on, Athena, after him. Huh? Oh, right behind you.
Oh, we ran past him. We ran past
Probably the
him.
royal resident on that one.
Yeah, that's what I meant to do by click. Wait a minute.
Nayuta, would you stop already?
What do you want?
It's about Dirk. Would you please hear me out?
I fail to see why I should. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hold it!
Nayuta, are you afraid of what I might have to say? If not, then there's no harm in listening, right?
Very well. Speak. But make it quick. There is much I must do.
Why does everything have to be so difficult with you?
Why is that badge before me?
Remember how we used to talk about what we wanted to do back when we were kids? I wanted to be a lawyer, and you, a prosecutor. You said you wanted to prosecute bad guys to make sure they got punished.
Yes, passing judgment upon evil. That is my calling. And that is why I have taken this case.
Are you saying Dirk is evil?
He who goes against what is righteous and holy. I shall reap his soul with all my power, whoever he may be, for that is my role.
Then I'll just have to defend his soul with all my power, Nayuta. So I know you'll be prosecuting Dirk's case, but aren't there any other prosecutors in this country? Why does it have to be you?
Her Eminence, Queen Garan, personally requested that I serve as prosecutor.
She did. That would make it hard to say no.
Her Eminence thinks highly of my prosecutorial skills.
Still, she didn't have to ask you to handle a case against her own father. Be honest, you really don't want to do this, do you?
Ah, you speak of love and sentiment.
I guess so.
I do not deny such human emotions, but the law is the law, and placing personal feelings above it is beyond reprieve. Do you disagree?
Well, no, I don't disagree, but...
Civilizations only exist due to the confines of the law. Without them, love and sentiment would lack the fertile soil they need to flourish. Do you disagree?
No, but...
The law must be obeyed. The truth sits above all else, including personal feelings. Therefore, whether or not I am the son of the accused is of no consequence. It is that simple. Or would you say otherwise?
But... Come on, Apollo, tell him how wrong he is. But don't you, wish it wasn't that way?
I think it's like, Apollo, seriously? Huh. It appears I've wasted my breath on you.
And the winner is Prosecutor Said Maddie.
Still spewing empty words devoid of meaning or consequence, I see. You putrid red pepper.
I know I'm right. But did he have to be so eloquent about his point? Like he's trying to cover something up with his pretty petty words. Apollo, I'd cut back on the debates with him if I were you. Just stick to questions like the ones you wanted to ask. Now, I wanted to ask you about the hostage situation. Inga said he had someone dear to Dirk in the palm of his hand.
And it's obviously Nayuta.
And he wasn't using that person along with the hostage as leverage in obtaining the orb.
That's news to me.
Well, that's what Inga said.
It has to be Nayuta.
I got the impression Dirk had no choice but to follow Inga's demands after he heard that. So who do you suppose this special person is?
I wouldn't know. Ha ha ha! Okay.
My bracelet's
Okay.
reacting.
Wherever he's grabbing, or like whatever his reaction is he's gonna have his defiant dragon mark there.
And it's behind his left hand. Hey, Nayuta, about what you just said. My bracelet is crushing my wrist. Yeah, that really hurts. What the heck's going on?
I'm wise to your tricks, you putrid red pepper. That bracelet reacts to the anxieties of the people around you by squeezing your wrist. But now that I know how it works, I can make it tighten around your wrist at any time I wish. Consider this a warning. So, But the way Nayuta crushed Apollo's wrist with it is a bit different than what Apollo normally feels. So I think Apollo would still be able to tell.
I don't know how I did it, but this rendered my bracelet useless.
So we're not going to be able to point anything out. Fine. Such devilry is powerless in the face of the Holy Mother's blessings.
Looks like your special power won't work against Prosecutor Said Maddie, Apollo. We'll have to try something else. You're right. We'll just have to ask Dirk about this.
It appears you intend to go through with a trial you have no hope of winning. Grow up, Mr. Justice. We are no longer children, you and I.
I'm not the one who needs to grow up, Nayuta. In case you didn't hear, I won my last case against none other than Mr. Right. You tell him, Apollo. Is he mad? I can never tell with him.
This trial is different. Your foolishness will only earn you a death sentence for aiding and abetting a criminal. And those who die as criminals are doomed to be reborn in the next life as something lower than a bug or vegetable. You would be lucky to return to this realm as a patch of a mold.
Mold? That's pretty harsh.
If you wish to avert such fate, abandon this folly before it's too late.
I don't care if I end up a doll of a blue cheese dressing in my next life. I'm going to defend Dirk in court.
You fool. Know this. I intend to prosecute with the accused with all my might, no matter what you might say or do. Consider yourself forewarned. Now, if you will excuse me.
Prosecutor said Matty knows his father will be publicly executed if he's found guilty. Yet he won't show even an ounce of mercy. Nayuta, is this the real you? Have you really changed? Do you really plan on sending Dirk to his death? Do you even hear me? Don't Dirk and I matter to you anymore? Bonus points if Shiro doesn't press the button.
Press what button?
May 18th, Temple.
Maya passed out right after we found her in the tomb. She's been out cold ever since. We haven't been able to get a word out of her. The doctor said it's just exhaustion, but I can't help but worry. Right. What is it, right? Are you all right? Yeah, just thinking is all. I'm glad you're here, Red Horse. We wouldn't have gotten the permission we have without you. Well, I didn't come all this way to grind to be useless. Speaking of the investigation, I received a few things from Detective Sky. These should prove to be useful to us as well. Okay, so we get Inga's autopsy report. Ooh. The tomb diagram. And a crime photo. What the? We're just getting all the evidence.
I swear we saw that already, but
well, we saw the scene, but we didn't. We might have been shown the picture to Apollo because we're in Phoenix's perspective now, so we're not with Apollo right now, which is interesting. Time of death, May 18th, approximately 3 p.m. Cause of death, blood loss from a stab wound in his back. Very important. We surmised he had been stabbed in the back, which was kind of obvious too. So he stabbed from under from whoever was hiding under the coffin cover. I seriously think that broken statue is going to be extremely relevant.
Yeah. Because someone shot a bullet, right? So. Gun, the phone, the knife.
Question is, why did he have his phone out?
Actually, how does he hold the three things together?
He wasn't holding a knife. We don't think he was holding a knife at all.
But they'll say he was. Right.
I highly doubt that we need to think about him holding a knife.
I think the knife matters. where it is right now because it's such a weird position. Like it was either tossed, but if the person stabbed it for the sarcophagus, how did they get the knife there? Did it fall out of him?
Well, they probably just dropped it out. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough, Edgeworth. Honestly, I'd have been lost without him these past few days. You there, Bob Ted Lawyer, Phoenix Wright. Oh.
We know who that is.
Huh? Oh.
Oh!
We don't. You're from the Grand Royal Guard, right?
Is this the investigative dude?
I'll let you do
I
him.
guess I'll do him. Sorry, I'm just clearing the popcorn. I am Lucky, Royal Guard member, and Her Eminence's shoulder member.
That's very specific. What does the royal shoulder rubber want with me? Wait, come to think of it, my shoulders are...
Don't be absurd. I am here for one purpose only. Bring you before Her Eminence.
Ooh.
Queen Garan, Grand Priestess of Kurai. Will you comply?
The queen? What could she want with me? And why does he have to shout like that? I can't fathom why the Queen Garan would summon you. But I advise you accept Her Eminence's gracious invitation. Royal Shoulder Rubber Laki, was it? May I join Mr. Wright in his audience with his queen?
The name's Laki. L-A-H''K-E-E. And... omnipotent, that's an interesting choice of words. I'll praise omnipotent Queen Garan. For she has already foreseen and approved your request, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. You are to both come with me.
You mean to say Queen Garan sees our every move?
Yes, indeed. Her Eminence's spiritual power is immense. She can even see what's going on thousands of miles away.
Right. I fear I'll lose my hearing if we don't hurry. Yeah, me too. Why would the Queen herself summon me personally? What could she possibly be up to? Hey, Edgeworth. Still at it, I see. I guess borders mean little in the face of your incurable habit. Well, I heard you used to present evidence left and right during your investigations too. It's funny they say that. We just got investigations announced for the Switch. That was a long time ago. Besides, who did you hear that from? Oh, I have my sources. Oh, well, tell your sources that I look forward to the next salary review. Gumshoe. Poor Gumshoe.
Oh.
Ah, the bobbed head lawyer has arrived. We bid you welcome. And you as well, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. Thank you. This place is still as magnificent as last time. We've heard much about you, Bobbed One. It seems your bluffs and tomfoolery tend to leave our court devastated in their wake. Is that what people have been saying about me? Right. Where are your manners? Your Eminence, I'm both humbled and delighted to be in your presence. Oh, Your Eminence, glad to be here. Looks like you're doing well. It is all right. There is no need to keep your head bowed all day. Yes, Your Eminence. Rifa's not looking too good. Guess even she can't just bounce back from her father's murder. So what can I do for you, Your Eminence? We wish to question you about something related to the case at hand. Perfect, because I have a few questions of my own. Please take a look at this.
The worst person.
That reminds us of when Dirk was still practicing law.
Us.
I think us as a country is what she's meaning there.
Yeah.
So we see that lawyers in your country also present evidence. Simply to gauge the other party's reaction when all else has failed. Do not presume to use such simplistic methods upon us.
What was that word I had trouble pronouncing the other day?
I don't know. It's been 2 weeks, sir. Sorry. Sorry.
The other day, greater than 2 weeks ago?
We fear we do not fully comprehend what has transpired. So it is that we summoned you here to further elucidate the situation.
America.
It is true that our husband Inga has been seeking the Founder's Orb. That's right. He wanted to trade a hostage for it. That's why he abducted Maya Fey.
Insolent fool! Dunk.
Did she just whack us in the head?
I think with the staff,
Yeah.
That is a lie, I say. Father would have never done such a thing.
But he did abduct Maya.
I will not stand here and listen to this nonsense. You'll pay with this. You.
Okay, she does actually have the staff in her hands. Ow, ow, ow! Please, your benevolence. That is quite enough, Rafa. We understand your feelings, but we fear he speaks the truth. For we believe we know why your father would do such a thing. And the staff's back.
Oh, there it is.
We believe he was seeking the orb as a means of obtaining spiritual power. And with it, he intended to usurp the throne. Oh, that's the angle she's going with?
But Mother!
But the leader has to be female. The spiritual power doesn't run in men. It only runs in the women.
Not if it's bestowed.
But in order to be bestowed the spiritual power, you have to be able to summon the Founder's spirit. And only Garan should know that name. So how would Inga be able to do it? And also, Inga doesn't have the ability to channel spirits.
Let's
least
say
that we know of.
Inga did have the ability to channel spirits, and he did turn into the creator, right? Male to female. Do you really think she would bestow it upon her own vessel that she's in? Or would she bestow it on the first thing she sees?
It's not. I don't think it was specific. We don't have it at the moment, so we don't know.
Just a weird thought. Mother!
What do you mean, Your Eminence? Inga was planning a coup, for he was dissatisfied with the current administration.
He was the administration.
Yeah, he was the administration. What do you mean? And his secret police was the primary instrument for his treason. The secret police. They came up during the High Priest murder trial, too. An elite force under the direct command of the Minister of Justice. In this case, Inga. The man who was hunting down rebels as Lady Kira was a member of that group.
Oh, I just had a stupid thought. Go on, let's finish this section and I'll say it.
Indeed. Indeed. Inga turned that once proud force into his own private army. And he intended on using them to launch a coup and assassinate us. So your eminence had no control over them. As much as it shames us to admit it, Korian is not a unified realm. Is not the unified realm it would appear to be. We are truly sorry for you have had to witness the dirty underbelly of our kingdom.
How could Father?
But know that Inga could not have become king simply through our assassination. For Korian, only those who possess spiritual power may sit on the throne. So yeah, what did he have to gain by killing? He was already second in command.
But it doesn't say anything about gender.
Fair. I see. That explains why Minister Inga was seeking the Founder's Orb. Bobbed one, do you recall the man known as Peace Love and Understanding? What about him? He too was involved in Inga's machinations. Inga had bought his loyalty, ordered the man to steal the orb and cover up the theft. And then he sent the orb to the U.S. For Dr. Buff to study. It's all coming together.
Open up the evidence of the map of the room. Look at these people on the left and right. Right there's a little too many of them, and then look at this hall.
Yeah, it's the same lineup.
Don't you think he knew which soldier shot him? Shot the corresponding position to that guy on the Royal Guard?
I mean, does that matter?
Well, let's think about it this way. He got shot right there, right? Well, he got stabbed in the back, right? He obviously turned around, right? Woozy and stuff like that. And then, for some reason, just that one particular statue and none of the others get shot. Maybe he's pointing to where in the lineup the guilty party is in the soldiers that are standing in front of us right now.
So you think it's one of these soldiers in this room that's the killer?
I think it's the noisy one I was portraying. What if the guy in that uniform was Peace, Love, and Understanding?
Well, wasn't Peace Love arrested?
Yeah, but he's not dead.
Well, he might be because he was found guilty and likely got the death sentence.
Honestly, think about the way not the way I've been voicing it, but think about the way the text is on the one soldier who gets shoulder rubs. What if it's him?
The capture of the
Did you
infamous
see it
villain.
now?
The capture of the infamous villain, Dirk Sadmati. It may prove to be the crowning achievement of our reign. Now perhaps the kingdom may return to the peace it once knew. Oh, what a joyous day.
Hail to her eminence, Queen Karan! Grand Priestess of Karai! Her eminence's spiritual power. Cut me out there. Invoked a blessing straight from the Holy Mother.
I could see how her cronies would be elated at the prospect. But the queen herself seems almost giddy for someone whose husband was just murdered. And then there's Rafa.
Father.
Rafa, on the other hand, doesn't appear to be taking it so well. About that incident that occurred 23 years ago. The one in which Dirk was accused of assassinating Queen Amara. Yes, he set fire to her private residence, burning my dear sister alive. Murder by arson. Only a demon would be capable of such a heinous crime. But that event is also set the stage for you to become queen. What did you do before you were crowned queen, Your Eminence? As part of our training to be queen, we served in many different governmental positions. The longest of which was the previous Minister of Justice. It was in that position that we were best able to support our elder sister, Queen Amara. Interesting. That's her husband's position. Or at least it was. And when you ascended to the throne, you passed the Defense Culpability Act. Those who would support criminals would be deemed just as guilty. What prompted you to pass something like the Defense Culpability Act, Your Eminence? The assassination of our dear sister, Amara. When the infamous villain Dirk Samadi was apprehended, he announced that he would act as his own lawyer. That's right. Dirk used to be a lawyer. Dirk had been an extraordinarily talented lawyer and highly esteemed by the people. But he falsified evidence in an attempt to win his own case. I see. But when the truth of his fabrications and the assassination of the Queen came to light, the people were devastated. And trust in the legal system plummeted. Now, why does that sound so familiar? Yeah, I wonder. In Quran, the Hall of Justice is a sacred space where victims receive their last rites. Should the people lose their faith in it, the kingdom would be shaken to its very core. That is why the Defense Culpability Act had to be passed. It was the only way to keep our legal system from tumbling into the abyss. So that's how you sought to eliminate the use of perjury and phony evidence, huh? But that law is what made lawyers go extinct in your kingdom. Now there's no one left to defend those who have been accused. We see how you could take issue with such a reality. However, we have not banned the act of lawyering itself. Those who are confident that they can prove their client's innocence are always welcome to mount a vigorous defense, as you yourself have shown. Well, I guess so, but without lawyers, there's a possibility of false charges being filed and prosecuted. As long as our prosecutors continue to run nothing but perfect trials, there need to be fear of such nefarious dealings. Do you agree? No! Because all your trials are just based off the seances, and the seances need context. Perfect prosecutors and their perfect trials, huh? Let's not get started down this path. Furthermore, here in Quran, we have the divination seance. And so it is we no longer need lawyers, for the dead do not lie. Well, in the short time I've been here, I've beaten back the false charges twice. And I found that the cases built on the memories of the dead were less than perfect. So yes, I do take issue with the Defense Culpability Act, to say the least. Such restless rhetoric. Your reputation precedes you, barbed one. Oh my, she is laughing at us. It feels as if we ourselves are being cross-examined. Oh no, that wasn't my intention. It is true that some feel the Defense Culpability Act is a necessary evil at best. But it is a small sacrifice upon which the peace of our kingdom has been forged.
That's a pretty big sacrifice.
Very big. If you can consider executing innocent lawyers a small sacrifice, then sure. The fact is, following its passage, the crime rate here in Quran dropped markedly. Therefore, we have no regrets concerning the enactment of the Defense Culpability Act. Really? None at all? Right. Why don't you leave it at that? This isn't a court of law, after all. Yeah. About the Founder's Orb that was to be exchanged for the hostage. It went missing after murder. Would you happen to know anything about that? It's missing? I'm sure Dirk had it when he went into the tomb. Yeah, and he threw it to Apollo. So Apollo has it right now. If it wasn't there, I have no idea where it could be, Your Eminence. In that case, then perhaps Dirk has it hidden somewhere. Incidentally, there is the matter that Horn used you were with. Oh, you mean Apollo? From his odd hairstyle, we may assume him to be a relative. Perhaps your younger brother? No. No. You've got it all wrong. He's Dirk's son. Well, more like foster son. They're not actually related by blood. Dirk's Royal Guard. Uh-oh.
Well, this isn't good. Your Eminence!
Is she about to summon Apollo or something, or have him arrested as a conspirator or something?
This is gonna be good.
What's she whispering in that one guy's ear? Thank you for your time. The two of you may go now. Yes, Your Eminence. We'll be on our way. Okay, now what? Apollo and Athena have the murder scene investigation covered, so maybe we should go speak with the locals over at the bazaar.
Happening there.
So following your theory, it'd be that your random theory would be this guy. Is the third one.
The hall's exactly the same, right? It's a mimic of it, what it was before.
It's the Grand Royal Guard. The one who came for us earlier said that he's the royal shoulder rubber. Excuse me. But each of you are charged with your own specific task.
Fitness trainee, was that the last one?
Yep, I think so. Fitness training!
Yep.
Alright. I'm sorry I asked. At this rate, one has to wonder if there are no tasks left unassigned by Her Eminence.
Think about it this way, too. If it's one of the Royal Guard had the ability to peruse and alter the crime scene.
Fair, yeah. Oh, yeah. But,
Popcorn time is over.
what? Was that a lion? Oh, that? Caught me by surprise, too, when I first heard it. Cry of a local bird known as a warbat. A bird. That sounds like that. Yeah, dwarves, unfortunately, yes. Sounds more like a beast than a bird, if you ask me. It's a form of mimicry. You know, to help protect them against predators and stuff. Yes, well, I can't say I've heard one quite like that before. Oh, it's more than unusual. It's endangered. It's extremely rare to encounter one in the wild these days. If it's so rare, then what is one doing out here in the middle of the bazaar? You got me. Maybe it's something to do with it being their national bird? Ah,
Shit.
was that a gunshot? Starting at PW? Hey, dads. What was that, dads? Define Dragon's newest weapon. I call these puppies Dragon Snaps. Okay, so it's fireworks. It's snappers. Got it. Uh-huh. And you need those why? Because our hard work is starting to pay off. Thanks to our TV signal hijacking and stuff, more and more people are joining our cause. But on account of that, our regiment's been cracking down on us real tough, like. Yeah, there's been a lot going on lately. You can say that again. I mean, what's with the high priest fake murder and suicide? Uh-huh.
That's very specific.
People are calling the DCA tragedy, and it's causing people real public uproar. Hopefully this means Thrust's deaths won't be in vain after all. So how exactly is a handful of firecrackers going to help you guys anyway? Simple. First, we supply them to our fellow rebels. They use them as a diversion when we need to shake Garan's goons. Huh? Like this. Whoa, would you cut that out? Not with the regime, and I'm not chasing you. Your reaction, that was priceless, BW. Guess I'll start war bad too. I can't with this man. It's a miracle no one's trying to arrest him while he's too busy laughing. You there. Oh.
You there. You are one of those insurgents, are you not?
Yikes! Take that! Woo!
Eek!
And he's gone. Those firecrackers are more useful than I thought.
No, that's a live demonstration. Barbed head.
Your
There's
benevolence. What can I do for you?
I wanted to speak with you about what my mother said. I do not believe a word of it. My father could not have been planning a coup.
How do you know? How do you know what your father was doing? Well, I can understand why you'd feel like that, but...
It was a setup. Someone must have been plotting against him.
And how do you know that?
I just do, because the Holy Mother guides me. And as the royal priestess, I must uncover the truth for all to see.
Maybe this is just how Rafa expresses her sense of duty.
You're investigating this matter, are you not? Then rejoice, for I shall accompany you and bestow upon you the royal priestess's wisdom.
Oh
And this one
boy.
old lady in the background too.
That's the best news I've heard all day, Your Benevolence. We won't dare get in our way with Rafa by our side. We humbly accept your offer, don't we, Edgeworth? As you wished, right.
Excellent. Then let us begin with my father's private quarters.
Ooh.
We should be able to find some clues there. I shall expose this false charge for what it is, if it's the last thing I do.
Could it be? It's the reason she's so defensive about Inga is because she's a daddy's girl?
Barbed head, let us not waste any time. My father's private quarters are located within the royal residence. Now, follow me. She ran?
She ran away. Wait, she's in a hurry. Right, the minister's private quarters may hold evidence related to the murder as well. Yeah, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. Rafa's awfully fired up. I just hope she'll be ready for the truth we find. After all, it's hard to believe that Ingo is not in full control of the whole affair. Now, if we can figure out which of these buildings houses Inga's private quarters, then that's where we'll find Rafa. Well,
I think it's to the right there.
yeah. There are footprints coming from this residence. Too bad they kind of end. Wonder who made them and where they went. Okay, we probably can't actually investigate. We probably need Emma so we can like figure out whose footprint that is. This overturned urn spilled its water all over the place. It was already knocked over when we got here earlier this afternoon, so we can roll out Athena at least. Right. What does it say about you if your first suspect is your own subordinate? Alright. Now that's what I call an extravagant exterior. Is this where Inga's private quarters are? Watch your step right. The urn's been knocked over, spilling water everywhere. Yeah, the ground's soaked. Wonder who did this. Sob? I think someone's in there.
Father.
Is that Princess Rafa?
There were still so many things I wish to tell you.
She always puts on such a brave face. We hear her crying all alone. I can't help but think of Trucy.
Father.
Princess Rafa, are you in there?
Ah! Just a moment. I'll be right out. I see you are finally here.
Goes like, hey, how's it going?
Well, let us commence our investigation, shall we?
Your benevolence. Maybe you should rest for a minute first.
You were eavesdropping on me, weren't you?
No. I mean, yes. Sorry, I couldn't help overhearing.
Grr.
It wasn't like I was spying on you or anything.
You stupid barbed head.
Ouch! You could have feigned ignorance. It's as if your brain-to-mouse filter shuts off the moment you step out of the courtroom. I'm not that bad, Edgeworth.
Anyway, what took you so long? I thought you would never get here. You have a lot of nerve keeping the crown princess waiting.
Oh, sorry.
This was my father's residence. I have already unlocked it, so you can go right in. Oh, and be careful. Some dingbat dog got in the courtyard and spilled water over there.
A dingbat dog?
That's right. The yappy mutt spilled a whole urn's worth.
Wonder how it got into this area. Do you know what it looked like?
Huh. I have better things to do than memorize what some stray dog looks like.
Don't tell me it's gonna be Shadow.
It might very
That's
much
pretty much the only dog we know.
Anyway, if it is not worth talking about, let's search my father's room, shall we?
Really hope she's all right.